Imagine this. You are a man forged in the fires of expectation, told from an early age that your worth is measured by your strength, your stoicism, and your unwavering ability to carry the burdens of the world. You are the provider, the protector, the unyielding rock upon which others can depend. You build empires, perhaps, or families, or even just a formidable reputation in your chosen field. You are lauded, respected, perhaps even envied. Yet, beneath the polished armor of accomplishment, a silent, persistent ache resides. It is the craving to be seen, not for the titles you hold or the feats you've accomplished, but for the raw, unvarnished truth of who you are, beyond the societal script. This is the paradox of the strong man, often admired from afar, yet deeply, fundamentally unseen in the very core of his being. Consider the tale of Atlas, not the mythical Titan, but a man named Arthur. From the moment he could grasp a hammer, Arthur was told, "Men build." His father, a man of few words and calloused hands, demonstrated rather than articulated his love through the sturdy shed he erected, the fences he mended, the unwavering presence he offered. Arthur absorbed this lesson into his very bones. He became a master architect, his designs gracing cityscapes, monuments to his discipline and vision. His office was a testament to his success. Sleek, minimalist, reflecting the ordered precision of his mind. Colleagues admired his sharp intellect, his decisive leadership, his seemingly impenetrable calm under pressure. He was the man you called when a project seemed impossible, the one who could untangle the most Gordian knots of logistics and design. Yet, in the quiet moments after the last blueprint was filed, after the final, satisfied nod from a client, a profound emptiness would settle upon him. He would look out at the gleaming towers he had brought to life, feeling a strange disconnect, as if he were merely an instrument of their creation, rather than a living, breathing soul who poured his very essence into them. Arthur's personal life mirrored his professional one. He married Eleanor, a woman who admired his strength, his stability, his unwavering dedication. Their home was beautiful, a sanctuary of order and quiet elegance. He provided always. He fixed every leaky faucet, managed every financial detail, planned every family vacation with meticulous precision. He believed, as he had been taught, that this was love, this consistent, reliable presence, this unyielding support. Eleanor, in turn, expressed her appreciation through quiet acts of domesticity, warm meals, a perfectly kept home. Their conversations often revolved around logistics, school schedules, household repairs, future plans. Rarely did they delve into the landscape of their inner worlds. Arthur would sometimes catch a glimpse of a fleeting emotion in Eleanor's eyes, a shadow of something unsaid, but he would dismiss it. His training dictated that emotion was a vulnerability, a distraction from the task at hand, maintaining the edifice of his strength. One evening, a storm raged outside, mirroring a tempest brewing within Arthur. A particularly demanding project had left him drained, a subtle tremor running beneath his usually steady composure. He found himself staring at his reflection in the darkened window, the city lights shimmering behind him like distant, indifferent stars. For the first time, he saw not just the successful architect, but a man teetering on the precipice of an unspoken despair. It wasn't despair of failure, he was a master of his craft, but despair of anonymity. He wondered if anyone, truly anyone, knew the raw, vulnerable fear that sometimes gripped him, the moments of self-doubt that whispered in the dead of night, the quiet longing for a gentle touch that acknowledged his weariness rather than his unwavering might. Eleanor, sensing a subtle shift in his aura, approached him cautiously. "Arthur, are you all right?" she asked, her voice soft, laced with a concern that was unusual in its directness. Arthur, conditioned to deflect and reassure, almost offered his usual dismissive "I'm fine." But something in the quality of her gaze, a fleeting softness he hadn't noticed in years, held him. He hesitated, and in that pause, a crack appeared in his carefully constructed facade. A sigh, heavy with unexpressed burdens, escaped him. "I'm tired, Eleanor," he admitted, the words feeling foreign, almost forbidden on his tongue. It was a simple admission, yet it felt like an earthquake had just rocked the foundation of his being. Eleanor, sensing the depth of this vulnerability, didn't press for details. She simply sat beside him, her hand gently resting on his arm. In that quiet gesture, Arthur felt a flicker of something akin to being seen, not for what he did, but for who he was in that vulnerable moment. It wasn't a grand revelation, but a tiny, almost imperceptible shift, a hint that beneath the surface, a deeper connection might be possible. This small breach in his emotional dam allowed a trickle of unspoken longing to escape, a desire for recognition that transcended professional accolades and societal roles. He realized, with a quiet shock, that his strength, while admirable, had also been a cage. The archetype of the king or the hero often embodies this struggle. He is the one who bears the crown of responsibility, carries the shield of protection, and stands as a beacon of stability. Yet, beneath the regal robes or the shining armor, there often resides a profound isolation. This character, much like Arthur, is driven by a deep-seated need to provide and protect, often at the expense of his own emotional landscape. His psychological depth lies in the hidden wellsprings of vulnerability that societal expectations have forced him to repress. The theme here is the unseen self, the authentic individual concealed behind the persona of strength and capability. To you, who might recognize a sliver of Arthur's story in your own life or in the lives of the strong men around you, consider this. The craving to be seen is not a weakness. It is a fundamental human need, a yearning for connection that transcends mere admiration. If you are a man who has built a world around himself, brick by painstaking brick, yet feels an invisible barrier between your achievements and your true essence, remember that true strength lies not in the absence of vulnerability, but in the courage to reveal it. Begin by allowing small, authentic cracks to appear in your armor. Can you articulate a simple truth about your day, not just the facts, but the feeling behind them? Can you allow yourself to be weary, to be uncertain, to be simply human, without the fear of shattering the image you've so meticulously crafted? For those who stand beside such men, understand that their silence is often not a lack of feeling, but a lifetime of conditioning. Seek to perceive beyond the obvious, to listen not just to their words, but to the unspoken echoes in their eyes. The path to deeper connection begins with the quiet courage to truly see and to be seen. The quiet admission of weariness, the small act of allowing a touch of vulnerability, however fleeting, reveals a deeper truth about the strong man's inner world. It is a truth often obscured by the very facade that society celebrates. This brings us to the second, often overlooked, aspect of the strong man's secret craving, the profound human desire for validation that transcends mere accomplishment. It's the yearning not just to be seen, but to be truly appreciated for the internal struggles overcome, the unseen battles fought, and the emotional resilience that underpins their outward strength. Consider the profound insight offered by Carl Rogers, who posited that a fundamental human need is for unconditional positive regard. This isn't about praise for achievements, but about being valued for one's intrinsic worth, independent of conditions or performance. For the strong man, conditioned to believe his worth is his performance, this concept becomes a silent, often unrecognized yearning. He receives admiration for his stoicism, respect for his resilience, and accolades for his success. Yet, rarely does he receive the kind of affirmation that says, "I see the quiet courage it took to stand firm," or "I appreciate the emotional weight you carry, even when you don't show it." This absence creates a subtle, persistent hunger, a yearning for someone to acknowledge the man behind the monument. The societal narrative around masculinity often dictates a suppression of overt emotional expression. Boys are told to man up, to be strong, to not cry. This conditioning, starting in early developmental stages as explored by Jean Piaget's work on cognitive development and the formation of schemata, becomes deeply ingrained. A boy learns that displaying vulnerability leads to negative reinforcement, while stoicism and achievement bring approval. This creates a schema where emotional containment is linked to masculine identity. Later in life, this manifests in the strong man's reluctance to share his inner world. He has learned that emotional exposure is a risk, a potential crack in the armor he has meticulously built. This behavioral pattern is further reinforced through B.F. Skinner's principles of operant conditioning. When a man is rewarded for being emotionally self-sufficient, through professional advancement, societal respect, or even the absence of challenging questions about his internal state, that behavior is strengthened. Conversely, attempts at emotional sharing might be met with discomfort, misunderstanding, or even dismissal, leading to an extinction of such behaviors. The strong man thus learns to internalize his struggles, believing that true strength lies in enduring silently. Yet, this very internalization, while appearing robust, often leads to a deeper, more insidious form of isolation. The external validation he receives is for the persona, not the person. This creates a silent dilemma. How does a man, celebrated for his unyielding nature, articulate a need for soft appreciation? How does he, who has been taught to be the unmovable force, express a desire to simply be held, not just literally but emotionally? He may receive a promotion and a hearty handshake, but what he secretly craves is for someone to see the immense pressure that led to that achievement, the sleepless nights, the quiet anxieties he wrestled with alone. He might be the cornerstone of his family, providing every material comfort, yet yearn for a simple, unguarded moment where his partner or children acknowledge the emotional fortitude it takes to consistently be that support system. Consider a man like Marcus, a successful entrepreneur who built his company from a small garage operation into a formidable industry leader. He was known for his decisive nature, his unwavering focus, and his ability to always project an aura of complete control. His employees respected him, his investors trusted him implicitly, and his family enjoyed a life of comfort and security. Yet, Marcus carried the silent weight of immense responsibility. Every financial downturn, every competitive threat, every strategic misstep felt like a personal failure, a crack in his seemingly impenetrable resolve. He would often work late into the night, grappling with these burdens, presenting a calm and composed front by day. His wife, Maria, admired his drive and provided a stable home environment. Their conversations were typically logistical, centered around the demands of their busy lives. One evening, after closing a particularly stressful deal that had consumed him for months, Marcus returned home. He expected the usual routine dinner, perhaps a brief discussion about the kids' day. But as he sat at the kitchen table, staring blankly at his plate, Maria paused. She noticed the slight tremor in his hand as he reached for his water glass, the faint lines of exhaustion etched deeper around his eyes than usual. Without a word, she simply placed her hand over his. Her touch was not inquisitive, not demanding, but simply present. "You did well, Marcus," she murmured, her gaze soft. "I know how much this one took out of you." She wasn't praising the deal itself, but acknowledging the immense personal cost, the unseen emotional toll. In that moment, something shifted within Marcus. The carefully constructed walls around his weariness began to soften. He hadn't realized how deeply he craved that specific kind of recognition, not for the outcome, but for the arduous journey. A quiet tear, unexpected and profoundly liberating, traced a path down his cheek. Maria didn't flinch. She simply squeezed his hand, her presence a silent testament to her understanding. This wasn't about her fixing him, but about her seeing him, truly seeing the man behind the relentless pursuit of success. It was a moment of profound validation, not of his achievements, but of his very human experience. The psychological journey of such a man often involves navigating the shadow self, a concept deeply explored by Carl Jung. The shadow contains the repressed aspects of the personality, including vulnerabilities and emotions deemed unmasculine or weak by societal norms. For the strong man, his shadow might hold feelings of inadequacy, fear of failure, or a profound longing for nurturing connection. The act of receiving genuine, unconditional validation allows these shadow elements to slowly integrate, leading to a more complete and authentic self. This is a step towards individuation, the process of becoming a whole and integrated person, where the outward persona aligns more closely with the inner truth. To you, who witness the silent strength of men in your life, remember that their outward resilience often masks a deeper vulnerability, a quiet longing to be seen beyond their roles. Can you look beyond the achievements and inquire about the spirit that drives them? Can you offer not just praise for their success, but appreciation for the fortitude that underpins it? If you are a man reading this, consider the quiet courage it takes to allow yourself to be truly seen. It is not about dismantling your strength, but about integrating your humanity. It is about understanding that the strongest foundations are those built on authenticity, where both power and vulnerability can coexist. What small step can you take today to allow yourself to be seen, not just for what you do, but for who you are? The gentle unfolding of vulnerability, the subtle acknowledgement of inner struggles, reveals a landscape often hidden beneath layers of societal expectation and self-imposed stoicism. This journey, from the unyielding fortress to a more integrated self, leads us to the final, and perhaps most profound, aspect of the strong man's secret craving. The deep-seated desire for reciprocal emotional intimacy, a genuine connection where he can shed the mantle of perpetual strength and simply be without judgment or the constant pressure to perform. It's the yearning for a sanctuary where his complete self, his hopes, his fears, his moments of doubt, can be held and mirrored by another. This desire for reciprocal emotional intimacy directly challenges the pervasive myth of self-sufficiency that often defines masculine identity. Erik Erikson's stages of psychosocial development highlight the critical importance of developing intimacy in early adulthood. For many men, however, this stage is navigated under the shadow of cultural directives that equate emotional openness with weakness. They learn to form relationships based on shared activities, intellectual rapport, or mutual respect for accomplishments, rather than a deep dive into the emotional core. The result is often a profound, if unarticulated, loneliness, a feeling of being fundamentally alone even when surrounded by loved ones. The strength that has served them so well in the external world becomes a barrier to the very connection they crave internally. Consider the story of David, a decorated veteran and a respected leader in his community. He had faced down literal bullets and metaphorical storms, emerging from each stronger, more resolute. His posture was always erect, his gaze unwavering, his voice calm even in crisis. People looked to him for solutions, for guidance, for an unshakable presence. He was the one who organized disaster relief efforts, mediated community disputes, and mentored young men struggling to find their way. He was a pillar, solid and dependable. Yet, the weight of being everyone's anchor was immense. He rarely spoke of the nightmares that sometimes plagued his sleep, echoes of distant conflicts, or the quiet anxiety that hummed beneath his calm exterior whenever a loved one faced hardship. He believed, as he had been trained, that a leader absorbs, not transmits, distress. His wife, Sarah, loved him fiercely, proud of his integrity and his unwavering commitment. Their relationship was built on mutual respect and a shared sense of purpose in serving their community. They communicated effectively about practical matters, household finances, their children's education, upcoming events. But when Sarah tried to delve into deeper emotional territory, asking about his feelings on a particularly difficult community issue or the impact of a friend's illness, David would often offer a stoic, analytical response, deflecting away from his internal experience. It's a challenge, but we'll manage, or it's unfortunate, but we have to focus on solutions. Sarah, interpreting this as his strength, respected his boundaries, unknowingly reinforcing his belief that his emotional world was best kept private. One harsh winter, David faced a personal crisis that shook him to his core. His elderly mother, frail and ailing, suffered a severe stroke. David, the ever-capable, immediately took charge of her care, meticulously managing her medical appointments, physical therapy, and home adjustments. He became her primary caregiver, his days a blur of responsibilities. He did it all with his usual quiet efficiency, never complaining, never showing a hint of strain. But inside he was crumbling. The raw grief of watching his vibrant mother decline, coupled with the relentless demands of her care, chipped away at his composure. He felt a profound sense of helplessness, a fear he had rarely acknowledged, let alone expressed. One night, after a particularly difficult day at the hospital, David returned home. The house was quiet. Sarah was asleep. He found himself sitting in the dark living room, the silence amplifying the tumultuous storm within him. His usual coping mechanisms, rational thought, practical action, had failed him. He felt utterly exposed, not as a strong leader, but as a vulnerable son facing an inescapable loss. He longed, with an ache so profound it startled him, for someone to simply see his unraveling, to hold the broken pieces of his stoicism without judgment, to allow him the space to simply feel. Sarah, awakened by a subtle shift in the house's quietude, found him there, his shoulders slumped, his face buried in his hands. It was a sight so rare, so profoundly out of character for the man she knew, that her heart ached with an understanding that words couldn't convey. She didn't ask what's wrong, or offer platitudes. Instead, she simply sat beside him, gently placing her arm around his trembling shoulders. "It's okay to let go, David," she whispered, her voice a balm in the suffocating silence. "You don't have to carry it all alone." In that moment, David's carefully constructed walls crumbled. He leaned into her, the tears he had held back for weeks finally flowing freely. It was not a moment of weakness, but a profound release, an act of courage to finally allow himself to be truly seen in his vulnerability. Sarah simply held him, her presence a silent testament to the reciprocal intimacy he had unknowingly craved. A space where his strength was not diminished by his pain, but understood and held within the embrace of connection. This transformation in David speaks to the journey of the wounded healer, an archetype that recognizes that true wisdom and strength often emerge from the courageous engagement with one's own pain and vulnerability. It's about recognizing that the deepest form of love and connection comes from being fully present with another, including their perceived flaws or moments of weakness. This embodies the principles of Carl Rogers's person-centered therapy, where empathy, unconditional positive regard, and congruence create a safe space for authentic self-expression. To all men who have carried the silent burden of strength, know this: the craving for reciprocal emotional intimacy is not a flaw. It is a profound human yearning, a path to true wholeness. Your journey towards authenticity is a testament to immense courage, not a surrender of your power. Begin by consciously creating small spaces for vulnerability with trusted individuals. Can you share a moment of genuine feeling without editing or censoring? Can you allow yourself to be supported rather than always being the supporter? For those who love strong men, remember that true strength lies in the capacity for connection, for allowing themselves to be seen in their entirety. Offer not just admiration for their achievements, but a safe harbor for their humanity. The climax of this journey is not about abandoning strength, but transforming it. It's about letting go of the desperate need for external validation, understanding that your inherent worth is not contingent on your performance or your stoicism. It's a peaceful inner rebirth, a realization that true power emerges from the stillness of self-acceptance, from the courage to embrace your full emotional spectrum. This transformation allows you to walk through life with an unshakable inner compass, your strength now rooted in authenticity, not in the fear of being seen as anything less than impenetrable. When you can embody this inner power, negative thoughts lose their grip, replaced by the calm conviction of self-knowledge. You become your own source of validation, able to connect with others from a place of genuine presence, rather than a performative persona. Embrace the power of stillness, the quiet strength found in knowing yourself, wholly and without pretense. Step into the space of profound self-acceptance, knowing that true influence and connection stem from the courageous heart that dares to be seen. What brave step will you take today to embrace your full, authentic self and allow the world to truly see you? Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and share this video with other friends to spread valuable insights in life. Thank you for listening. The end.